if you've read Leviticus, you know God is very, very particular about the way that he is worshipped. It's not just that he is worshipped, but he's quite harsh sometimes about you worship him in the way that he asked you to. Aaron's sons, they light the fire the way they're supposed to, but they use the wrong fire and they both get struck dead for it, right? It's like God really cares about the liturgy. He cares about the way that we come to him, not just that we come to him. And I think it's really insightful. I'm starting to see this a little bit more in Protestant communities, but the emphasis on, you know, the Lord's Supper, communion, the Eucharist, whatever it is you want to call that, but it's got to be important because it's the last thing Jesus does before he enters into his passion, right? He knows he is speaking his last words to Andrew. He's speaking his last words to James. They're never going to hear him, at least not in the flesh in that way. They're never going to hear him again. And he says, the last words he says to them collectively, right, are, do this in remembrance of me. It's the last thing he does with his apostles. I think a lot of Protestant churches are starting to recognize that. And, you know, I don't know if you know who Scott Hahn is, but that was one of the things. He used to be an Episcopalian minister, and he started reading the fathers. He started looking at the Gospels and how much emphasis it talks about the breaking of the bread. And even as a Protestant, he started doing communion every single week, even though it was a once a year, twice a year thing before that, because he recognized there's something important about what's going on here.